And we are all set. So Tony, I believe that you were one of the first people. Do you have any questions for me this morning? Or does anyone have any questions this morning? You are an affiliate. You want to promote the 5-day challenge. Where do I link to? So as I said, I can help you with tech questions. When it comes to the questions about sales process, and those pieces, or specific to the information for sales process, I may not have all of that very specific information, but you can definitely contact the support personnel and they can help you out with that piece. I am available for how to set up your domains, how to make sure that your email is set up, those types of questions and the tech stuff. But when it comes to finding links and using those pieces, I'm not quite as versed on that specifically for where to find those for sales process. All right. Does anyone else have any questions that I can help with? All right. So we did have a question from someone else, which was, what is Cloudflare and is it required? And what does it do? So I'm going to speak to the Cloudflare piece of the back end of the system. So Cloudflare has a couple of different reasons and uses. One, when you buy your domain, whether you buy it, and please note, I am located in the United States, and my knowledge of what's available around the world may be different. So I'm going to speak specifically to the United States. And so if you buy a domain from GoDaddy, domain.com, Namecheap, any of these other places that you can buy your domain from, then what you can do is you can point that domain to hosting companies or other companies. And Cloudflare is one of those companies that you can point to that provides your site and your domain with additional security and speed. So one of the key things that Google wants to see when they are looking at how well your website performs and if they want to move you up in the search findings is your page load speed. So Cloudflare helps with that quite a bit. It also has security features to help prevent hackers from getting in and taking over your website and installing malicious code. So those are the two very, very basic things that Cloudflare does, is page speed and security. It also makes it, the system sales process has a system in place so that you can connect the things that you need to run sales process for your sales pages, your landing pages, your emails, all of those things, that you can connect to Cloudflare very, very easily. It's a very seamless process so that when you need to add those back-end codes, Cloudflare makes it very easy to have those, and the system runs much, much better for that process. So is it required? No. And I will fully admit, this was my opinion for a very long time. I found Cloudflare to be confusing. I found it to be just another step that I needed to do. And I avoided the Cloudflare step in my setup for a very, very long time, much to my coach's chagrin. She was really annoyed by that. But once I did finally move over and start using Cloudflare, I was amazed, and I am now completely converted. I will not put any new accounts onto the system without there being a Cloudflare in the middle, because of how fast the pages load, because of that security issue, also because of the how easy it is to add the codes that need to be added. So to answer the question about Cloudflare, not required, but really strongly recommended for the system to work properly. So for that outside question, I hope that helps. All right, got someone new coming in. Are there any other questions that I can answer? Because I'm kind of running out of stuff. Yes, sir. I can help.
Hi, Tanya.
Hi.
I have a question. My sales process is making duplicate contacts every time a form has been filled in and add.
Okay.
Why is that, or how can I change that?
Sure. So there is a setting in the back end on your business profile that actually shows that. So I'll show you on this demo account, or if you want to share your screen, but I'll just show you on the demo account. So I'm going to share my screen. And so I'm going to go, sorry, let me go back. I'm going to be down here on the bottom and I'm going to click on settings. And when your settings open, it goes directly to this business profile menu. So we're
Yeah,
going to scroll down, and then there is actually a setting right here, and it's actually called contact deduplication preferences. And you might have this turned on. This menu has changed.
yeah.
It's been updated in the past few months, but if you have this turned on, then that's why you're getting the duplicate contacts.
Okay, because I know I needed to put that on because we're dealing with clients that with the opportunities page, with the opportunities in the pipelines, we needed to put that on to have duplicate opportunities because for the same client, we're doing the same service over and over, and it didn't want to, but also didn't want to allow us to create a new opportunity for them.
So that has
Oh,
actually updated. You can have the same contact in the opportunity area multiple times. So there is a setting that you can have
okay,
for that so that you can have the same contact in multiple, in the same pipeline.
okay. That's great. Then I'll go and check that one. I have another question
Mhm.
on is uh, is there a way to communicate with your staff directly in sales process?
I would, so I don't have the very specific answer for this, but I know that there should be a support button or a support email, probably support@salesprocess.com, to be able to contact the very specific support to sales process. I have been asked by Tamara to help fill in for these calls. So I would be, so I don't have that exact information, but definitely sending an email to support, or if I go back here, um, okay, good. Let's see. You've got promote sales process, sales process universe. So I would bet one of these buttons back down over here on this left-hand side would be your place to go. And probably even
Yeah.
the Facebook community would be a good place to check in as well.
Okay. Yeah. So just a question that I want to run because I'm trying to do my whole business within sales process and don't need to have what Microsoft Teams and ClickUp and all of these types of external apps. Okay, cool.
Yeah,
Thanks.
so are you, and I just saw that I have to open my chat. Okay. Oh, so someone is saying that there is a 24/7 live chat. So could be a possibility for that as well. Um,
Yeah.
but are you trying to, so you say click funnel, or you said, was it ClickUp that you said in Teams? So what is it that you want the system to do that it may not be doing for you at the moment?
So at the moment with clients, it's fine. We can communicate with them through the conversations. But I'm just wondering, is there a specific way that you can contact directly with a group of your staff so that you can separate that from your other conversations that you have conversations directly with yourself. Say, but staff member one needs to do this, staff member two needs to do this. Um, yeah, because otherwise you need to do that through the conversations as well.
Right. Another possibility, and this is just thinking outside of the box on the tech piece of that, is using the tasks and assigning to people. So assigning the task
Yeah,
to a particular person. And then that way, then there can be that additional piece. So it's still in that contact card, but the task is assigned to a particular team member. I don't know that
yeah,
there is a way to assign it to a particular team at this point. So say you want your sales team to follow up on something, and then the sales team will decide who gets that follow up. So what you can't necessarily do at least without some very specific workarounds. There's not that kind of thing, but there might be some integrations that might be possible to help with integrating in with ClickUp or with other outside project management systems to help with that. So talking to the support department at with sales process would probably be a possibility.
Yeah, cool. Thank you.
And just full disclosure, it is 6:13 a.m. my time, so I'm chugging the coffee. So if I'm not keeping up, just know it's very early in the morning. And I just burned myself.
That's
Okay, does anyone have any other questions?
Tuesday, Wednesday, it's 3 o'clock this side, 3 a.m. this side. So we're in South Africa. So
Wow.
it's 14:40, yeah. So
Yeah. All right. Does anyone else have any questions that I can assist with? Nothing at the moment. All right. So again, I am here to help if you're feeling stuck with the system. If there is just this little glitch like the duplicate contacts that are popping up, and then or you're having problems with your emails, or your funnel isn't quite connecting, or whatever that tech glitch may be, that is what I am here for. So whatever you feel like you're stuck, I can help with the tech. I might be able to help with the strategy a teeny tiny bit. Again, I am not as familiar with the templates and the pieces that are loaded for you, but I do know the system itself and the technologies very well. So if you're stuck on something, now is the time to bring it, and I will be happy to help you out. Uh-huh.
all right.
How do you say your name? I don't
Another
want to butcher your name. So how do you say your name?
John Ray.
Okay, perfect. How can I help you, John Ray?
A question I have is on calendars.
Mm-hmm.
So there is the standard like Google Meets calendar, Zoom calendar, then custom address. How do I put in Google the Microsoft calendar?
So put it on the
Like
Microsoft calendar as far as
to schedule a meeting.
so the link for them to allow it to go to an Outlook calendar, is that what you mean?
Yeah, like a Microsoft Teams meeting.
Okay, so you want to use Microsoft Teams as your screen sharing, so as your Google Meet or Zoom replacement.
Yeah, yeah.
So there is not currently a direct integration with Microsoft Teams or Microsoft in that way. What you can do is if you have one link that is sort of like Zoom has the one link that's just the group of numbers, and then it doesn't add the password and the other stuff to it. If you have your one generic link that can be used, then you can enter that as a custom meeting location. So then that would be how you do that. So you would go and let me, I'm going to share the screen. And again, this is a demo account. So I'm going to go into calendars, and I'm going to go to settings. And then I'm just going to, I'm going to see if she has a test one. Yeah, we're going to look at this one. So she has this test calendar here. So I'm going to open it and I'm going to edit this. And what you can do is, this will be the first place, is see here, we're in the meeting details area, and your meeting location would be custom, and you would type in your generic link. So for me, I'm just going to add something. And so this location, this link would pop up in the location area of all of the calendars. So when it goes to that person's location, and then when you are sending your automated reminders, the location, you can have your have the proper link, or the link that you want them to use, you can have that in the email reminders. The other place that you can add that is for each individual team member that you have in the system. You can have them go to, I believe it's my profile, and there's a couple of places and they've been changing things a little bit. So I just want to make sure I'm getting it in the right place. Yes. So wherever your team member, what their preference is for what type of service or link they want to have for their calendar, I'm logged in as that particular team member. So that's why it says my profile. So when they go in to fill in this information, they would have their calendar connected. And then in the user availability area, the meeting location would also be custom, and then it would have that specific link. So if I just put a link in here, then this would also preload for that user, so that when someone comes and they book and they're booking with that person, or if it's a team and they select that person or round robins to that person, then this specific link is what is actually sent to the person, to the one requesting the meeting. So this would load automatically in that process. Or if that team member prefers to use Zoom or an in-person or a phone call or Google Meet, then these links could come into play as well. Did that
Cool. Thank
answer
you.
that question?
Yeah, that helped. Can you maybe put it? I know. Tomorrow makes a list and she sends it out to the development team. Can you maybe ask the development team if it would be possible for them to add, to integrate what teams into sales process?
Okay,
Thank you.
sure. All right, I have that written down. Anyone else have any questions that I can assist with?
Hey Tanya, sorry,
Hi.
almost called you. Hey Tanya, just wanted to check. So I have this thing where I'm using sales process calendar,
Uh-huh.
and sometimes I want to block off. I sync it to my Google Calendar, so sometimes I want to block off certain time slots, right? Let's say I want to block off 1 to 4 p.m. So I'll
Sure.
go to my Google Calendar and I'll put blocked off for calls, right? Just so I don't double book anything. But the weird part is when I'm setting up the sales process calendar, if my available slot, let's say I put like 1 to 4 p.m., because it says blocked off on Google Calendar, when somebody goes to my calendar link on sales process and actually tries to book a call, this available slot doesn't show up. So I had to go into my Google Calendar, remove the blockage, and then the slots show up.
Mhm.
But the problem becomes, the reason I put the block there is so I know, okay, don't double book anything. This is only reserved for calls. If I remove it, I'm afraid I might forget it. But at the same time, if I have it there, the slots doesn't show up on my calendar. Do you have a workaround for that, or is this a common issue?
Nope, I do have a workaround for that. What you can absolutely do, and I'm going to show you my Google Calendar, and so it's kind of a mess, but I'm going to show you my calendar. And so let me share my screen. And so this is my calendar for this week. And say I wanted to remind myself that I have client work that I need to do today. And so I'm going to block off this spot right here. But I still want people to be able to book with me if I have my calendar set up for that. So if you notice right down here at the very bottom where it just kind of gives you this ability to add, then this actually says busy. So when you click on this area, it expands to give you additional pieces of information. So you can actually list this instead of busy, you can list this as free. Okay, and now I can say I want to do client work. And I'm going to do this dedicated space, just something. Okay, so now I'm going to add that. And when you look at my calendar, this is still available. Now, I'll be quite honest, my calendar, I make people wait 24 hours. So I can put this at a different time and I'll show that. But by showing this as free, you're still showing this in your system, but so that you can see this, but people can still schedule at this time. So if I take and go, let me go to, I'm going to look at and do this on August 29th. So I'm going to put, I'm going to clear that out and I'm going to go to my calendar. So / coffee chat. So we're going to look at August 29th and we're going to see that I have a good bit of the afternoon open. Okay, so and I think we should have even more of that open actually. We're gonna go back to the 29th. So it's showing something on there, but that's okay. Well, so 3, 3:30, 4, 4:30 is what we're showing on my system. Okay, so if I go back and we're looking at August 29th, and I add something between 3 and 6. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave it at 2:45 to 6, and I'm gonna show this as test demo. I'm going to go ahead and leave this as busy. Okay. Then what I'm going to do, and sometimes it does take a few seconds, maybe a minute for things to update, but usually it's pretty fast. So I'm going to do the hard refresh on this. So instead of the regular refresh, a hard refresh, I use the keyboard to do either Control or Command R. And so that's a hard refresh on the system. You'll notice that I now only have 4:30 available, which is kind of weird, but all of the other, oh no, I'm sorry, on the 15th. So let's go back to the 29th. I can have a call at 11, 11:30, and 1:30, but I don't have the rest of the afternoon, which had been open. So now that's not what you wanted. That's what we were trying to avoid. So we'll go back to the Google Calendar and I'm going to and I'm going to click on this. And that when you click on it now, you can't tell why it's giving you an issue. So we're going to edit the event and we're going to get the bigger screen. And just above notes, that's where you see this difference of the busy field. So we're going to go from busy to free, and we're going to save this. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to go ahead and go refresh again. And it's going to automatically show today, but it's going to show the 29th. It still hasn't opened that up, and that's okay. Like I say, sometimes it takes an extra few minutes. Go back to the 29th, and those slots are open again. People can book with me, but I do still have this in my calendar for my knowledge.
Oh,
That work?
perfect. Yeah, perfect. I've been struggling with this for the longest time. Thanks a lot, Tanya.
Absolutely. All right. Noah, how can you use community on sales process? We'll run the ad and then it can run. How can it be run and settled? Let's see. Use community on the sales process. How it can be run and then settled. I'm not sure what the specific question is. Can you explain it a little bit more? So I'm assuming that you're typing, Noah. If you want to give me a more in-depth explanation, I am happy to try to help. If it's on that technical side, I'm happy to help. So while you're working on that, I'm gonna to try to help Giandra again. Giandra, how can I help you?
I was just wondering, is there a way of seeing all my Outlook emails in sales process?
So there is a way to capture all of it, but quite honestly, you may not want to. and this is my personal opinion, and I also use Outlook and I have Gmail and I have all those things, and I do not have the two-way sync set up because I don't want all of the random newsletters that I get, the weird sales messages of people sending me cold emails. I don't want them in my database. There's a lot of stuff that I try to keep my database clean so that it's not coming into the system and my CRM is getting, my contact list is being junked up by all of this extra stuff. So that's my personal opinion, and you can, that's just my own thing. With you can have the system act as your full email service. If you want it to do that, there's probably two different ways, and I don't know how well I will be, because I don't want to have the two-way sync. I will fully admit I don't know how well the two-way sync actually works, but as an option, and I'm going to go back to sharing my screen. When we were looking before, we were in the settings area. So this is the settings menu. You can see that here, and I'm in my profile. There is this two-way sync area. So you can two-way sync Outlook and you can two-way sync Gmail. However, this two-way sync information is usually starts with the contact already being in your CRM. So that's where that part of it is. If you want to use the sales process as your only email account, then you can do that. And it's basically you're going to take it, but even so, it's not an email service provider. They don't host your emails. So Gmail, Yahoo, MSN, your hosting companies like SiteGround, even Namecheap, they are email service providers. So they actually send and receive the emails on your behalf. So it's, even if you have things running through the system without a subdomain, so say it's your email address at without the mail.salesprocess.com or replies.salesprocess, it's, or whatever your domain is, it's still not an email service provider. So you can use these two-way syncs. Because there's so much in the system and because I choose to not sync mine, I don't have the full understanding of how accurate and well that these work for you. So, and again, quite frankly, as a tech person, I don't recommend it just because of how messy it can get. But I would say reach out to support or join another one of the calls. I know that Tamara is doing the one on Tuesdays still. She may have better information on that piece, and I wish I could answer that better for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Okay. All right, so I've got additional pieces on here. So there's a community on sales process, would like a school, but don't know how to run. My students can join. How can I load my course? How will I automate emails for the community? Okay, so working with communities. This is a big, long process. Let me admit the next person. So communities run much like school, or there's another one, like it's a bringing people out of the Facebook group and bringing them into your own hosted community. So what we'll do, and let me go back to sharing my screen. It is a very, very, very in-depth process to set up communities. But what you would do is you would start with, it kind of goes across memberships and sites. So memberships is where it starts. And this is where you can sell your course. So you build the what you want to teach them, you build your courses, you offer that, and then you can have it show in an individual community. In the communities area, you have individual groups, so you can have multiple communities set up depending on what you want to offer, what you want to talk about. So say you're into gardening and you're into tech. So you can have two totally different groups within the system. So the first thing that you would do is you would go into the settings area and you would make sure that you have a subdomain. So you can change this weird gobbledygook to something else. but you also want to have basically your custom domain. So this is again where you have a subdomain. Most things in your system will work off of subdomains, and you can have multiple of them. So I would set up a subdomain directly from right here, and I don't want to screw up Tamara's test account. So within this, she has the subdomain of members.testtamara.com. So members makes it a subdomain. You could have courses, you could have connect, you could have any word that you want. I would make it one word and I would make it short so that it's something that you know or your team knows that it's going directly to your community, and the subdomain is set up specifically for your community. Okay, so once you have this done, we're going to go into the groups area. And this is where you can create groups, and then you can add to groups and do different things. So it looks like she has 2 groups already set up. So to create a group, you would go here into the blue button of creating your group. And then it works just like everything else in setting things up. So it asks you all of the information that it needs from you. So what is this group name? What are you going to call it? What is the title? And this is client or customer or lead facing. So you want to make sure that it is branded for you and shows, people what they are signing up for. The group slug, this is what you're going to be sharing the name of your group from. So we start with that, and we looked at the subdomain. So that was members.domain.com. So now the slug is on the other side. So it's like a page name. So you want your slug to be a shorter version of your group name. So / you're doing this for the tech group. So you can do members.domain.com/ that's where the slug comes in, tech. Or if you have an abbreviation to your company, so if we were talking sales process specifically, it could be SP Tech. Okay, so that's what the slug is. The description, you want to enter a brief description. This works for your SEO and for telling your, the people that are potentially coming into the community or the people that are in the community a very brief reason of what the group is about. That you want to talk about the tech pieces of sales process, that you want to give tips and tricks on how to garden in Thailand. You want to, whatever your group is. But note that you have 150 characters. So you want to make sure that it's very brief, very short. Then you start looking at the branding. So your favicon, and it actually gives you the sizes of your graphics right here, 16 by 16, your cover image, your logo. It gives you the recommended sizes. So these can be, whatever you would like them to be. And then it creates that group for you. So this is the tech aspect of this. So instead of creating another group, I'm going to go back into Tamara's and I'm going to take a look at what these are. So I'm going to log in. Where those graphics come into play is right here. So it says here that her group name is My Amazing Portal. And then this is the description. So this is your group name. And this is your group description. If she had something on the back side that shows the sizes, and let me actually go to her other group because she did. So I'm going to click on this one and hopefully, nope, it didn't open it for me. If she had a banner image, that would be back here on this piece. So when you're creating your banner and you're having it as that square, then you want to make sure that you're not actually having anything that's going to cover up this middle section. So if you want to have logo, or you want to have your colors or some of your branding elements, this is where this is going to come into play. So if you put something in the middle of that image, then this is going to cover that up. When you have your favicon, the little 16 by 16, that pops up right here. So that's what this little blue at the very top of the screen, that's where the favicon loads. So you can see that sales process has theirs, Zoom has theirs. There's other things in here, so you can see where the favicons load for you. So that's why they are so small. when you add a logo, you can actually see that she has a logo here of Smart Studies Online School, and she has information in here as well. So it's not letting me log into this without being able to be, I'm not a user, so it doesn't, for some reason, it's not letting me in. So I'm not going to be able to show those pieces. But once you bring people into your community, whether it's paid or not, then you can start talking to them as if you were in anything else. So if you were posting things about your courses, you would be showing up here. And let me actually, I'm going to stop my share for a second because I can show you on a different one. It's just going to be in a different account. So bear with me a moment and I will show you a different one. Let's see. John, I will get to your question in just one moment. All right, so let me go to my communities. So I am going to log into mine. And yes, I know I'm not sharing. I wanted to not show everything. So this is a community that I set up. I'm not actively promoting it at this time, but this is what it looks like when you get into your community as an admin. So I'm not actively promoting it. So it's just kind of at its very base level at the moment. But this is what it looks like when you get into it, and even as an admin. So here at the top is the discussion area. So this is where you or your members can start adding conversations and posts and things like that. Your learning, this is where you can add that course that you want specifically in your community. You don't have to add all your courses. It can be specific to each group. So if we were talking about that example of tech and gardening, you could have just the tech piece in your tech group and just your gardening in your gardening group. So as the admin, you can come in here and you can go to the add course button. This is only for you as the admin of the group. And you can add the course. So you can look for the course, and I have two others that can be added. So I can add this compliance training, or I can add a testing course. I can say who has access. So is it all members? Well, I don't have that many members, but you can change this. Are they going to have to pay for this course? So do you want to have them pay for that? And what is that subscription going to be? Is it recurring or is it one time? So you can set that, or you can set it to free right here as well. If you want it to be one time, you can enter that price. So you can add all of this information in that area. And then once you add the course, then it looks just like this one does. And so you can easily access it. So if you click on this, you can, if you have multiple courses and you want one course to be before others, then you can move the card and move it around so that you can see where things are in the system. So you can have kind of highlighted psychology-wise versions of how these courses are. So you can move the card. You can delete the course from the community. It's not deleting the course completely. You have to do that from courses, but it does delete it from the community. Or you can copy this link so that you can send it as part of social media. You can send it as part of your advertising, your emails, things like that. Okay, so that is the basic tech pieces of your communities. You can also change some of your settings in pieces in here. If I go back to discussions, I can scroll down a little bit, and on this right-hand side, you can actually see the settings that are set up, and you can see more details and do more changes for your community in here. So is it public that other people can see it, or is it just private? What is your URL and your description? How do you want to have your branding set up so you can make changes as you need to? Do you want to have, when someone comes in as a member, do you want to ask them questions? So we've all been to those Facebook groups that say, you know, in order to join this private community, you need to answer a few questions. You can do the same thing here, and then you're collecting that information. You can provide links. So What are some links that you want people to have access to? Do you want to make sure that they can get to one of your websites or see additional courses for you? So it's a sales page. Or do you have other, maybe a support link so that people can email you directly? So you can have multiple links set up here. And when you have those links, those show up right here. So this is one of the links that I have listed in this particular group. So this is where all of these pieces come into play. You can then start doing automations based on these pieces if we go into the automations area. And I'm going to use one of mine. You can, when you add someone to a community, and let's look at to see what our communities are. So we've got courses. So these are products and offers granted and things like that. So this is based on the course area, but you can do off of communities. So if they have received the group access, or if their access has been revoked, you can have information come here. So if, say, they have signed up, they've provided you with their username and their login. So you've provided that you've got those systems set up. So we're going to add that trigger. Then you can have other things happen. So you can have emails go out once that access has been granted. You can add tags to them so that you know that they are in your group. So you can have a tag of community dot and then whatever that group name is so that you know that they're there. Then you can add additional communications based on that tag. You can also scroll down and see opportunities, payments, marketing, affiliate courses. You can do, you can grant group access or revoke group access. So once they come into the overall community, then you can grant access to a specific group once they're in there. So this is where you can kind of go and start trying to figure out map, and you can do it on a computer or take a piece of paper and kind of start mapping out what where you want your people to go. What process do you want them to follow? And then you can start building it in the system in that way. So I hope that helps. If you need more information about communities and how to use them, there are probably other office hours that you can join that are specific to strategy and using the system for the strategic pieces of the system. So that's kind of the tech pieces, kind of at a basic level to help with that piece. Okay, perfect. Okay, going back to John's question, you've set up your LC mail. Let's say your support email is support@John, but I don't want to transfer my domain to sales process. When I build my automations or marketing emails, can I still set the email sent? Okay, so it's kind of two pieces. You're not actually transferring your domain by having johnchan.com in the system. It's not transferring anything, especially because when you're dealing with SMTP mail within the system, you're sending it from the subdomain. So whether it's, even if you have a subdomain of support.johnchan.com, and then you can send emails from support@johnchan.com. So it's not having it transferred. It's just giving another piece. So having something in the system with a subdomain, and you can have multiple emailing subdomains in the system. So you can have mail.yourdomain.com and support.johnchan.com and maybe accounting.yourdomain.com. So it's the first and the third are the same, but you want to have one for support specifically. It really is best to have it connected to the system. And why that comes into play is because of the rules that Google and Yahoo, those were the two big names that did it back in February of this year. But it's been everyone has taken on this industry standard because Yahoo and Google, most specifically Google, are the industry standards. So it really is best that any domain that you want to send an email from, that you set up, you make sure that you have that subdomain set up. So mail or replies or support dot whatever subdomain, whatever domain you want. So in this case, John Chan, you want to make sure that you have it connected to the system. It still means that you can still have your regular emails to, John at John Chan go through your Google or your Outlook or whatever email tool that you're using. It's not taking that away from that. It's just making sure if you're sending emails from the system, from that domain, that they have all of the pieces that they need to have. Basically what happens is, I'm going to try to simplify this as much as possible. There's codes that are added to your backend domain DNS records, and there's 3 very specific codes that are added that allow you to send emails from other tools like Sales Process or like MailChimp or Constant Contact or any of the other tools that you would send an email from. If you are sending it as yourself from your domain, you need to make sure that you have these settings in there. So the first setting is called an SPF. And you don't need to know what they all do, but just to kind of make it really simple. If you think about banking, and banking in the United States we used to use checks, but now we use our debit cards. And so we walk around with the plastic cards, and the debit card has a PIN number on it. The SPF code on the email settings is basically you telling Google, Gmail, that you have this card to be able to say, yes, I am who I say I am. So you have this debit card, basically. I am who I say I am. So the SPF code does the same thing. It's the first thing that says, yes, I am who I say I am. I'm trying to send this email from me, and I'm trying to reach this other person that you're checking. So SPF is the first piece. There's another one, and it's called a DKIM. And that is actually a lot of gobbledygook, messy code that is a bunch of letters and numbers that you can't memorize unless you're just really good. That basically comes from that tool. So Sales Process provides you with that very specific code to say, this is my code to say that you have allowed me to send on your behalf. So Sales Process provides you with that very specific code. We tell that code, we put that code in our information, and we provide that to Gmail. That is equivalent to us putting in a PIN number when we're paying for something. So I can go into any store, hand them my card, and it may not actually be my card. It might be my mom's card, or it might be my sister's card, or it might be I stole the card and it's someone else's and it's a female name. Just because I have the card doesn't mean it's absolutely secure. I can get around it. But if I'm trying to do something very specific, like going to an ATM and grabbing money, I have to have that code. That's what this other DKIM code does. Additionally, there's another code. It's called a DMARC, and that's really simple. It just kind of says, if this SPF and if this DKIM or something else doesn't look quite right, what do you do with it? As the inbox provider, what do you do with this email? Do I let you choose? Do you reject my email completely and it's considered a bounce? Or do you quarantine it and send it automatically into spam? So that's what the 3 codes do. And that's why, going back to the original question, you want to make sure whatever emails you are sending from this system, you want to have the domain connected. Now, you never want to connect just johnchan.com. You want to connect a subdomain. So support.johnchan.com, accounting.johnchan.com. And it's okay when you're sending an email, say you're sending it from the conversations area, if you leave off that support dot, it's okay if you do that. The system will still work and emails may get through, But the best, absolute best practice is to always send emails with the subdomain listed. So support.johnchan.com. So I know it sounds really confusing to not, and it is a kind of a pain to make sure that you're adding all the domains and making sure that they're in the system. But it really is because of what Google and Yahoo did at the beginning of the year. And we want to make sure that your emails are getting into the inboxes that you need them to get to. So I hope that helped. Hopefully that made sense.
Hi Tanya, just so it does sound a little bit techy to me. I know the basics, but so does that mean, let's say the domain is johnchan.com, that would mean it might still go through, but you would recommend me migrating my domain to sales process. Is that right? Did I get that right or not really?
So it's not really a migration, because you can still have your domain connected. So say you have a WordPress website that you had before you were with sales process. Maybe you have your website through Wix or Weebly or WordPress. You're not migrating your domain. You're basically putting codes on the back end to give to say it's okay to send emails from sales process. So you're not moving it off of anything else. You're just adding a few codes to say this can happen. And it is still better to not have just the domain, johnchan.com. You want to make sure that you have like mail.johnchan.com. So it's just adding codes, and everything else still works everywhere else. You're just adding some additional codes.
Okay. So the domain does not need to be migrated. I just need to make sure I set up properly. And
yeah,
back to my earlier question, that means when I send out emails, so in my automations, I can still set it up to send out from support@johnchan.com, or is that not possible?
You can. It really is better to send from, so whatever that subdomain is.
Yeah.
So support.johnchan.com, it's better to send from there. It is possible to send from johnchan.com, but you are...
By the way, Tanya, I did hear you say support.johnchan.com, but what about the email address? Because people want to see, right, okay, what email address send this email?
Mm-hmm.
Can I send it from support@johnchan.com?
Okay, so that's where, so let me pull up something else real quick. So one, I'm pulling up my Cloudflare, and two, I'm going to pull up, and let me see if this lets me do what I want to do. Of course not. So let me bring up Word just to make it easier. And blank document. And 18. Okay, so two things. Sport at. Okay, so that is the email address that you want to send from. And that's perfectly fine. You can. But what I recommend in the system and I'm going to copy that. Nope, just the piece, just one piece. And you can also have accounting@mail. So you can send emails from the system from, this is kind of considered this accounting at or support at or whatever the beginning is before the at. You can send from any of these emails as long as you're able to start receiving those emails from someone else. So if you're sending it from the system and you're sending it from support or accounting, it still comes back into the system as long as you have this piece, the mail.johnchan, the support.johnchan. So that's what makes it a subdomain. So support at makes it the beginning of the email address. So this is the email box, basically. The subdomain, and I'm going to do this one. this is a subdomain. And what makes it the subdomain is this word right here before your full domain name. Okay, so the subdomain kind of is just like this extra little directional piece. It's just like, but it's just a little bit of a directional piece. So if we did, and I got rid of that, and I did /support, okay, 3 different places where support can be tells the system, tells the tech world that support is 3 different places, okay? Support right here says it's an email box. You're sending it to the support department, okay? And if I take this from support, if I change the support here, this is a subdomain. So it's saying it's still part of your domain, but it's specific to your overall domain, okay? So it's still support. And then this one makes it, it's called the official term is slug, but this is like saying it's a page. So if someone copies this, we've all seen this, this is how we put it into our web browser to go to the support page, or if this might say blog or services or something like that. So you're still using the word support in all of these things, but they all mean something a little bit different. In your system, no matter what, you're going to have, you want to have johnchan.com set up in your system no matter what, but it is absolutely best practice to, if you want to have a support channel and you want to send specifically from the system, just from the system, no matter what. It doesn't have to be support. It can be mail, but you always want to have from the system. If you were having emails go to you, to your regular, like you have John at johnchan.com, and you're reading those either from Google or Outlook or another email provider, then you want to make sure that you use in the system a subdomain. It can be whatever you want. It can be mail, it can be replies, it can be support, it can be whatever you want. But this is where the subdomain comes in. Yes, you absolutely can have support at and the rest of it, but I would absolutely say I would do support at whatever you want that sending subdomain to be as your main piece, because it keeps the system understanding what's happening. It's telling Google and Yahoo and those other inboxes the proper information, and it is the best practice for sales process, for you, for Google, for Yahoo, and all of the other inbox providers to use the subdomain as that piece, but it can still be support at, and then so it would actually look like one of those.
Okay. Yeah, Tanya, I'm still definitely not as techy, but I think I roughly get it now. Sorry,
Okay.
just a very
That's okay.
quick last question.
Yeah.
So in this case, let's say I follow the instruction and I set up for emails to send out from, let's say, support@mail.johnchan.com, right? If I set it up that way in sales process, but you're telling me the johnchan.com domain does not have to be in sales, does not have to be connected to sales process itself. Is that correct?
You would set up, so basically in the email settings, and we
Mm-hmm.
are at time, so this will be our last question. So let me minimize that and let me go to the sales process area. So let me share my screen again. So we're going to go, so we're in the communities area from the last question. I'm going to go to settings and I'm going to go to email services. Okay. And she has an email service in this account called ec1.messenger.net. Okay. What you're going to do is you're going to go into this add service. This is new. We're going to do other. Because, wow, that's very new. I want to have it be that the SMTP provider is going through the system, and they literally just added all this stuff. So now I'm a little new, but basically I'm going to tell it that it's SiteGround. Okay. And I'm going to provide it with this information. And wow. Okay. So I apologize because this information is a lot more new than this this change just happened this week and I hadn't seen it. and this is not something I've seen before, but you can get these SMTP numbers from your email provider. And I apologize for not having all of this information. I will provide a new video on exactly how to set this up, and I will make sure that Salesforce has this so that we have it set up specifically, because this is information that I had not seen in the past. So this is a new service that has just come in that I was not updated for. So I will make sure that I have the information. I will be back at the same time next week. So for me, it's Thursday morning. I will be back at this exact same time next week, and I will make sure that I have all of this information set up for you. So I'm sorry, John, that I can't give you that specific information, but what I can absolutely do is get that to you.
Okay, thanks. Thanks a lot, Fanny.
Absolutely. If anyone else has any questions, please make sure that you reach out to your support team. They can absolutely help you with anything. There is the chat bot. You can go into the community groups and ask questions in that way. And there are also all of the scheduled office hours to help you with running your system. So thank you all for your time today. I really appreciate it. I will see you all at the same time next week. Thank you all so much.